In the frozen frontier of the high Arctic lives a creature of mythic proportions, massive, mustached, and armed with tusks that have inspired legends for centuries. The walrus is not just a symbol of the North, it's a keystone of its ecosystem, a cultural icon, and a survivor in a world that's vanishing beneath its feet. Today, we journey into the life of the walrus, uncovering the truth behind its tusks, its deep social bonds, and its struggle to adapt as sea ice disappears and the Arctic transforms faster than ever before. Walruses are the largest pinnipeds in the Arctic and among the most distinctive mammals on Earth. Their most iconic feature? Tusks, elongated upper canines that grow throughout their lives, reaching up to 1 meter, 3 feet, in males. But these aren't just weapons. Tusks are multi-purpose tools used to haul their massive bodies onto ice, anchor themselves while resting, break breathing holes, and even establish social rank. Contrary to old tales, walruses don't use tusks to spear prey. Instead, they feed on clams, snails, and other bottom-dwelling invertebrates, sucking them from shells with powerful lips and a vacuum-like tongue, and that thick, wrinkled skin. It's covered in sparse, bristly whiskers, vibrissae, so sensitive they can detect the texture and shape of shellfish buried in mud, even in total darkness. Walruses are ice-dependent. They use sea ice as a mobile platform to rest between dives, give birth, and nurse their young. In summer, they follow the retreating ice northward, diving up to 90 meters, 300 feet, to feed on the rich seafloor below. But as Arctic sea ice shrinks due to climate change, walruses are being forced ashore in massive, unprecedented gatherings called haulouts. In places like Alaska's Point Lay, tens of thousands crowd onto beaches, sometimes over 100,000 strong. These haulouts are dangerous. Walruses are easily spooked. A single disturbance, like a low-flying plane or a polar bear, can trigger a stampede, crushing calves under the weight of panicked adults. In 2017, over 100 walruses died in one such event. Without ice, they must swim farther to feed, exhausting mothers and leaving calves vulnerable. The ice isn't just convenience, it's survival. Don't let their size fool you. Walruses are among the most social marine mammals. They communicate with a rich repertoire of sounds, bell-like knocks, grunts, whistles, and even underwater songs that can travel kilometers. Males produce complex vocal displays during breeding season, using air sacs in their necks to amplify calls that attract females and warn rivals. These songs are unique to individuals, like acoustic fingerprints. On ice or land, walruses rest in tight groups, often touching flippers or leaning on one another. This isn't just warmth, it's bonding. Calves stay with their mothers for 2 to 3 years, learning feeding grounds, migration routes, and social cues, and they're surprisingly gentle. Despite their bulk, walruses show affection, play, and empathy. Mothers nuzzle their young, juveniles chase and wrestle. Even in massive haulouts, there's a quiet order, a society built on proximity and trust. The greatest threat to walruses isn't hunting, it's climate change. The Arctic is warming 4 times faster than the global average. Summer sea ice, the walrus's essential platform, is disappearing decades ahead of predictions. Other dangers compound the crisis. Oil and gas exploration brings noise, pollution, and risk of spills. Shipping traffic disrupts migration and increases strike risk. Plastic pollution and toxins accumulate in their blubber, weakening immune systems. Currently, the Pacific walrus is not listed as endangered, though scientists have urged protection under the U.S. Endangered Species Act. The Atlantic walrus population remains small and fragmented, with fewer than 20,000 individuals. The walrus is more than a giant with tusks. It's a teacher of resilience, a keeper of culture, and a barometer of the Arctic's health. In its eyes, we see the calm of ancient ice and the urgency of a changing world. To save the walrus is to protect the entire Arctic ecosystem, from the smallest clam to the vast frozen seas that regulate our planet's climate. If you have ever been moved by the sight of a walrus mother and calf resting on ice, carry that feeling into action. Support climate solutions, honor indigenous knowledge, and demand protection for the last wild places. Because the gentle giant of the Arctic must not become a memory.